Welcome along to Coventry Speedway for tonight's Elite League action, the build-based Coventry Bees versus the Ipswich Witches. An interesting matching prospect this evening against these Witches, who've beaten the Bees on 3 occasions already this season, and they'll be looking to make it 4 out of 4 tonight. With Hans Andersen lining up number 1, it provides an interesting spearhead for the opening race, and the Witches will be keen to get back on track after a shock home defeat last week to the Oxford Silver Machine in a match where they lost both of their reserves. But with Danny King and Kim Jansen down at the reserves berth, and Danny Bird, who's been putting in some useful scores at second string, the Witches will be hopeful of a good performance this evening. For the build-based Bees, they'll be looking to capitalise on last week's fantastic performance against the Poole Pirates, and tonight they welcome back into their ranks Billy Gennaro after a 3-week break with injuries sustained at the Joe Screen Testimonial. Stuart Robson, of course, lines up for the build-based Bees at number 5 tonight, and his battles with Scott Nichols about to be one of the evening's talking points. And of good performances also required this evening from the Bees reserves of Thomas Peach and Morton Rizaire if they're to stand a chance of putting one over the Ipswich Witches in Elite League action tonight.
Jesper Jensen, a difficult time for Ipswich at the moment. You suffered a defeat last week at home. Tonight's a big night. You're going to put it right.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll get a good night tonight. Turn everything around and getting the winning position again. Last time at home we lost both reserves. So after heat 8 or something, we were only 5 riders on the team, so it makes it difficult in the end of the meeting. So hopefully we're much better tonight.
You've walked the track. How does it look?
Well, as the last couple of times I've been here, it's been a little bit slick, but today it looks like there's been more grip out there, so no, it looks good.
Personally, you're having a really good year. Are you pleased with your form?
Yeah, I'm pleased with my form. I've been down for a few weeks now, but I turned it around the last couple of days, so I'm back in shape again, so that's nice. Hopefully I'll do good tonight.
Billy Gennaro back with the Bees, back from injury. First things first, how are you feeling?
Pretty good, My arm's a little bit sore, but that's not the big thing, mostly just my knee. So hopefully things can go right tonight.
The Bees have suffered obviously a terrible defeat at Oxford, but then they beat Poole last week in your absence. Obviously they're going to try and take it forward from there.
Yeah, they don't have to use rider replacement for me now, and hopefully I can put in some effort and score some points. And I'm really looking forward to it, I'm all fired up. Had about a month off, 3 weeks in the sun. Feel good.
So the build-based Bees going for back-to-back victories for the first time this season, taking on the Ipswich Evening Star Witches at Brandon and looking to build on that superb 46-44 win against the Poole Pirates, that dramatic win against the Poole Pirates last Thursday night. The Bees have a clean bill of health here this evening despite the alarming fall that Stuart Robson took last Thursday, and with Billy Gennaro back in the side as well, they are at full strength, as are the Ipswich Evening Star Witches, despite a couple of crashes in their fixture last week when they were beaten at home. So for the Bees, Andreas Jonsson goes at number 1, number 2 is Jason Bunyan, 3 is Billy Gennaro, 4 is Chris Harris, 5 Stuart Robson, 6 is Thomas Peach, and number 7 is Morton Rizaire, very much the hero last Thursday night. For the Witches, Hans Andersen goes at 1, 2 is Danny Bird, Jesper Jensen at 3, 4 is Chris Louis, at 5 Scott Nichols, 6 Daniel King, and number 7 is Kim Jansen. The Bees have been beaten so far 3 times by Ipswich this season, including once at home here, 49-45 back in early April, and they've been beaten twice, 54-41 at Foxhall Heath earlier this season, so a bonus point up for grabs here tonight. And can the Bees make it 2 wins on the bounce after last Thursday's dramatic win against Poole by beating Ipswich here tonight? So coming up to tapes for heat number 1 of this Elite League fixture between the build-based Bees and the Ipswich Evening Star Witches. Andreas Jonsson in this one for the Bees with Jason Bunyan, and it's Hans Andersen and Danny Bird for Ipswich. Bees have won the toss, they take gate positions 1 and 3 for our opening race here tonight, and that gives Andreas Jonsson the inside gate. So problems in the pitch just before the race, Jason Bunyan having his bike attended to, and in fact Thomas Peach also stopped on the warm-up lap, and he is also having his bike worked on in the pits at this stage. Jonsson then and Bunyan for the Bees, Andersen and Bird. Andersen involved in controversy in recent weeks. He had a clash with Lee Richardson at Peterborough a couple of weeks ago, and also highly involved in controversy at Cardiff as well. Hard riding rider Hans Andersen, and he goes off gate number 2 for this first race here tonight. So it's Jonsson in red off the inside for the Bees. And then gate 2 in green is Andersen, gate 3 in blue is Jason Bunyan, and off gate 4 in yellow and black is Danny Bird. Andersen being called right up to tapes in gate number 2 for the Witches. Jonsson on the inside, Andersen on 2, and then Bunyan, and then Bird off the outside. Bees have been beaten 3 times this season so far by Ipswich. Can they avoid a 4th here tonight? Referees Graham Reed, green lights on for heat 1, they're away. Anderson's quick off gate 2, he's beaten Andreas Jonsson. Bunyan's missed the gate. Bird goes wide off the outside. Jonsson tries to go inside Anderson, but it's Anderson with the advantage on the back straight for the first time, with Jonsson in second place. Danny Bird holds third, but in trouble over on turn 4. Bird going very wide. Can Bunyan sneak through into third place? He can do. Good ride by Jason Bunyan, gets through into third place, but it still has Anderson. Johnson makes a mistake on the second bend, but just manages to still keep going in second place, with Bunyan in third spot and Bird at the back. But Hans Anderson trapped well off the gate number 2, and he's making it count now as he leads on to the third lap, leading from Andreas Jonsson. Now Bunyan once again under pressure from Danny Bird for that third place position, as they got the back straight for the third time, with still the Dane Hans Anderson with the race lead. Andreas Jonsson holds second, Bunyan third. Bird once again in trouble on the outside on that turn 4. I think he's lost any chance really of getting to Jason Bunyan, but it's a good race win here coming up for Hans Anderson. Made it off gate 2, and really Andreas Jonsson never got near him. Hans Anderson coming round to win the first race at Brandon tonight, with Andreas Jonsson in second place. Bunyan's battled hard for a third place, and that's a shared heat in heat number 1. A race win for Hans Anderson. Jonsson missed the gate off gate 1. Bunyan battled through for third place Danny Bird, and that's a shared heat in the first race here at Brandon tonight, and that was a good gate and a good fast ride by Hans Anderson. Very fast as usual out of the traps, made it off gate 2 ahead of Andreas Jonsson and really never looked back. Jonsson gets the second, Bunyan in third spot. Shared heat number 1, it's Coventry 3, Ipswich 3. Daniel King is last on the track for heat number 2, the young Ipswich reserve, who's done well so far. I think there are many people in the Elite League who felt that Daniel King wouldn't last the season by any means in the Ipswich side, but to be fair, he's doing so, and it's worth his place because he scored some important points for the Witches, particularly on his home track at Foxhall Heath. He's won a couple of races there against some fairly good opposition, and he is in this heat number 2 for the Witches. He has the inside gate. Thomas Piche and Morton Rizea in this one for the Bill-based Bees, and it is Daniel King and Kim Janssen for the Witches, and it's Daniel King who has gate 1 in green for Ipswich. Thomas Piche, who made a very action-packed debut for the Bees last week, he's off gate 2 in red, then off 3 in yellow and black Kim Janssen, and it's Morton Rizea, quite sensational last week for the Bees with 15 paid 16. He goes in blue off the outside. Well, Piche, as we say last week, very rapid from the gate. He had a few problems turning the bike on occasions, ended up in the fence a couple of times, but what can he do tonight? He should have the right setup hopefully this evening. Green light is on, we'll find out shortly. The green light comes on, away they go. Rizea flies off gate number 4. Piche is out there with him on 2. Rizea is wide on the second bend. That might let King through, it might let Janssen through as well. Thomas Piche has the lead. It's Danny King in second place with Rizea in third, and it's Janssen struggling somewhat at the back at the moment, but Thomas Piche made a lightning start and he has the race lead, and he's doing well so far. King is wide on turn 2. Can Rizea come inside him? Rizea can't come inside him. Rizea moves through into second place, relegates King to third, and Janssen so far struggling at the back, and this looks good for the Bees reserves here in heat number 2. And how often have we said that so far this season? Thomas Piche made a great start, he leads the race. It's Morton Rizea. Oh, Piche is so wide, he's down, spectacular into the fence, and everyone just avoids him, and Thomas Piche had it all won there, and he made a mess of it on the second bend, lifted and crashed into the fence. The red lights come on, you would suspect the referee will award it as a 3-3, and Thomas Piche had the race won, and then once again a mistake on the second bend saw him crash into the fence. Fortunately, everyone managed to avoid him, and we now await the referee's verdict, because that could well be an awarding of the race. They were almost on the final lap. Morton Rizea was clearly in front, and the Bees were clearly set for a 5-1 there. All he had to do was keep it pointing the right way, but he couldn't do so, and Thomas Piche in the fence over on turn 2, and we await the referee's verdict. The race will be rerun. The referee has called a rerun there, which the Ipswich management will be pleased about. They were just about to start the last lap when the race was stopped, but now Morton Rizea will have to do it all over again after that spectacular fall for Piche, and we hope he's okay, because he hit the fence quite hard on the entry to the back straight. Fortunately, just into the air fence. Any further than that, he would have been straight into the regulation fence. But really was an unfortunate incident indeed over on that back straight at the exit of turn 2. It just went too wide and clipped the fence, and that's bad news for the Bees. They were clearly set for a 5-1, and now Morton Rizea's got to do it all over again, and the Bees have a concern over Piche over on the far side there. Thomas Peach being taken off the track then. It looks unlikely he'll take any further part in the meeting. A problem with his ankle, which appeared to have got trapped in the fence as he clipped the fence, really, as he made a mistake on the second bend, went into very much the edge of the air fence there, and he's been taken off track. He's going to go straight into the medical room, and we suspect straight off to hospital. It'll mean a busy night once again for Morten Rizea, and really rotten luck for Thomas Peach, who's shown himself that he can certainly make a few starts. It's just a case of the throttle control on the bends that is the concern, and the air fence now being inflated. Looks like Bees, who were tracking a full strength side tonight for the first time in some weeks, well, it looks like that's lasted just a couple of races, because Thomas Peach seems certain to take no further part here tonight. We've had confirmation from the pits that Thomas Peach will not race again tonight. He has gone to hospital for x-rays on his ankle. They are hoping it's not broken, but it's certainly a concern, as the ankle got trapped really in amongst the bike and the fence over on turn 2, in that what you have to say was a rather silly fall. It shouldn't have happened, because Thomas Peach had that race won, and there was no need really for him to be overriding at that stage, but it happened, and the Bees can't do anything about it. They're down to 6 riders tonight anyway, and with Billy Gennaro and Stuart Robson both certainly carrying knocks, and it's going to put a great deal of pressure on Morten Rizea, no doubt about that, and certainly some debate as well as to whether that race should have been awarded. It seems rather bizarre that referee Graham Reeve has ordered the rerun here of this heat number 2, but what it means is Morten Rizea will have to do it all over again. It's Danny King off the inside in green, Kim Janssen off gate 3, yellow and black, and Morten Rizea in blue off the outside. And here we go for the rerun of heat number 2. Away they go, fairly even from the start. Rizea comes across from forward, makes it in style. Rizea with the race lead, then going very wide and down. In fact goes King, and spectacularly down is Janssen, and someone will have to go there as well. As King gets to his feet, the red lights come on, and I think that'll be Janssen excluded there, as the two Ipswich riders got into a dreadful tangle with each other on the second bend, and the red lights comes flying on once again from the referee, and Kim Janssen clipped that fence really spectacular at the back straight, and Ipswich, well, even they could have followed Morten Rizea through for a 3-3, but now surely referee Graham Reeve will have to exclude Kim Janssen. And in fact the referee has excluded Daniel King, which is a bit bizarre. He fell, got back to his feet. Kim Janssen clipped the fence. I'm not sure if he clipped the fence in avoidance, but the referee has excluded Daniel King, which is a strange one. King is out, and Mike Smiley's going straight to the phone now, and it appeared clearly that Janssen had got into his own trouble there, and King was back on his feet. So an interesting call by the referee, and it's King who's been excluded, and Janssen who will resume against Rizea in a second rerun. So it is a rerun with 2 riders only in heat number 2. Plenty of confusion as to what the referee actually decided to do there between Janssen and King, and the various permutations for a rerun, and we have a rerun now with 2 only, and it's Kim Janssen against Morten Rizea. Many would have felt that Janssen was the cause of the stoppage in the first place, as Rizea lifts and Janssen typically makes the gate over him, and Rizea will have to overtake him. Kim Janssen goes wide at the back straight but has the lead, and Janssen making advantage of his 3rd go at heat number 2 here. He was way at the back in the first staging, he clipped the fence in the second staging, and now typically he finds over the lead, but Rizea dives inside him on the second lap and then goes wide and back on the inside comes Janssen and retains the lead at the back straight. Good race here, as Janssen again has the lead with Rizea in second. Janssen going wide, Rizea trying to make a move and coming off turn 4, but it's still Kim Janssen as he leads on to his 3rd lap, and Morten Rizea once again winding himself up from an attack on the Ipswich rider, but it's Janssen leading at the back straight for the 3rd time. And round those 3rd and 4th bends, Kim Janssen stretching clear now of Morten Rizea. Bees again unfortunate really in heat number 2. They could have had a 5-1 way back some time ago, as Rizea goes wide again off turn 2. They then saw King excluded when Rizea had the race won, and Janssen comes out and wins the rerun. Kim Janssen is there with the race win. Morten Rizea in 2nd place, a 3-2. Morten Rizea is furious that he hasn't managed to make that one stick. He lifted somewhat coming off the gate, and that was enough for Kim Janssen to out-trap him to the first bend. This time Morten Rizea unable to make a challenging blow, so the match race goes Ipswich's way, and they take a 1-point lead here tonight. Kim Janssen taking that very long running heat number 2, and it's Coventry 5, Ipswich 6. Coventry 5, Ipswich 6 then after 2 heats. Billy Gennaro makes his track return for the Bilbao Bees in heat number 3, partnered with Chris Harris, and it's Jesper B. Jensen and Chris Louis for the Witches. And Jensen and Louis very much the strong partnership as far as Ipswich are concerned, but Jensen has had the odd off meeting in recent weeks, has certainly not been on the form that he showed earlier in the season, Chris Louis has had a solid season so far for the Witches and he's come back from injury, and this is a very tough race to call here in this race number 3. It's Chris Harris on the inside in blue for the Bees. It's Jesper B. Jensen in green off gate 2, gate 3 in red Billy Gennaro, and gate 4 off the outside yellow and black. It is Chris Louis for the Witches. 5-6 after 2 fairly eventful races so far. Certainly Heat 2 a very long running affair. Now here we go into line 4, race number 3. Harris, Jensen, Gennaro and Louis. And Gennaro has been missing for some weeks, been back home to the States to recuperate after a nasty crash, first of all with Joe Screen's testimonial, and then here against Wolverhampton when he aggravated his problem. And we now get set for heat number 3 with Ipswich in front by 6 points to 5, and we get ready for the 3rd race tonight. Here we go then, green light comes on, and away they go, a bit edgy by Gennaro, and Harris lifting alarmingly, and away from the gate number 2 goes Jesper B. Jensen. Louis trying to go around the outside. Gennaro sneaks through into 2nd place and tries to force Louis wide. Louis trying to go back around the outside, and Louis is forced very wide off turn 4, tries to come back around the outside. Gennaro slots in front of him once again with Harris at the back, but Jesper B. Jensen leads the race. Gennaro locks on completely, but still holds 2nd place, chasing Jensen, and Harris now after Louis for the 3rd spot, but it's still Jesper B. Jensen for the Witches as they go around the 4th bend for the 2nd time. Jensen still with the race lead, Gennaro 2nd, Louis in 3rd, Harris trying to make a move for that 2nd place, Gennaro bouncing and just about getting straight okay at the back straight for the 3rd time they go, and it's still Jesper B. Jensen leading Billy Gennaro with Chris Louis in 3rd spot over Chris Harris, and on to the final lap this time. Jesper B. Jensen looks like becoming the 3rd Ipswich race winner so far tonight. He leads from Gennaro. Harris trying to go wide on Louis, he's got a line round Louis round the outside. Harris giving a real go, trying to get right round that outside line and still going Chris Harris. Louis is trying to block him, Harris coming right around the outside and then going to mistake and goes too wide, and Louis gets the 3rd place, and Chris Harris made a real go for it in that final lap there but couldn't make it through, and Jesper B. Jensen wins the race for Ipswich with Billy Gennaro in 2nd place, Chris Louis in 3rd, and that's a 4-2 to the Witches in heat number 3. They extend their lead to a 3-point margin. A very competitive heat number 3 there, won by Jesper B. Jensen, and after 3 heats it's now Coventry 7, Ipswich 10. So eventful stuff so far as they come out for heat number 4, and Jesper B. Jensen clocking 58.5 in heat 3. Maybe the fastest time so far at Brandon this season, and quite what equipment he's got very well set up indeed, because Lee Adams the fastest so far, 59.1, but Jesper B. Jensen absolutely blitzing it there as he won heat number 3. So he's certainly a man to watch here tonight. It's Stuart Robson back on track for the Bees in heat number 4 despite his horrific crash last Thursday against Poole, but he's declared himself fit and he goes in heat 4, partnered by Morton and Rizea. It's Scott Nichols in green for the Witches, partnered by Kim Janssen, and Nichols, who is riding himself back into form and fitness after a fairly lengthy layoff himself after a crash at Vauxhall some weeks ago. So Rizea in blue off gate 1 for the Bees, and it's Kim Janssen, gate 2 yellow and black for Ipswich, gate 3 in red for the Bees, Stuart Robson, and it's Scott Nichols off the outside in green for the Witches. They lead by 10 points to 7 after 3 races as the starting marshal gets ready for heat number 4. The green light comes on and away they go, and Nichols makes a flyer off gate 4. His air's been beaten by Janssen. It doesn't look too good here for the Bees in heat number 4 as Nichols goes round the outside. Janssen's there as well, Robson trying to go around the outside, and Rizea is there in 3rd place. Robson picks up on turn 4 and goes very wide indeed, and Janssen still holds the 2nd place. Still Scott Nichols then from Kim Janssen. Rizea trying to get through on the inside of Janssen, and Janssen again forced to go wide, and Rizea tries to get up the inside of that back straight but can't quite do so at the moment. Robson trailing at the back, and it's still Scott Nichols for Ipswich being tracked all the way by teammates Kim Janssen. It's Morton Rizea in 3rd with Stuart Robson at the back, and Janssen wants to go wide on that 2nd bend, but Morton Rizea can't quite get there, and it really does look like a 5-1 here to the Witches in heat number 4. A bad start for the Bees tonight as Scott Nichols comes round to start his final lap. Kim Janssen in 2nd place, Rizea in 3rd once again, working the inside line, trying to get, and makes a mistake there, and that's lost him any chance really of getting up with Kim Janssen. Now Stuart Robson at the back, and this will be a 5-1 to the Witches. Janssen very wide himself, he's made a mistake, and Rizea is there, and that's very close indeed. The Bees fans I think that Rizea has maybe just snatched that one on the line. Very close indeed for 2nd place as Janssen made a mistake on that 4th bend, and the question is, did Rizea manage to fight his way through into 2nd place there and at least save the 5-1? We'll await official confirmation of that one. What's clear to see is a clear win for Scott Nichols and also a disappointing ride for Stuart Robson, and we'll await the referee's verdict there on 2nd place. Morton Rizaire does get the second place. Kim Janssen went too wide on turn 4. Rizaire held the inside, tracked his way through, and Rizaire has pinched second place on the line off Kim Janssen, and that does aid Coventry's cause immensely, although they're still certainly behind, and Ipswich into a 5-point lead. It's Coventry 9, Ipswich 14. So it's far from the ideal start for the Bees here tonight. Ipswich have had all 4 heat winners so far. The Bees trail by 9 points to 14 as we look at heat number 5, Billy Gennaro and Chris Harris against Hans Anderson and Danny Bird. Hans Anderson has the gate 3 for this one. He was absolutely electric off the start in heat number 1. That's been the story again here tonight, really. Ipswich gating, and the only time the Bees made a gate in heat 2, they had the 5-1 going, and it all went wrong on the third lap. Heat number 5, it's Danny Bird on the inside, yellow and black for the Witches. Gate 2 in red for the Bees, Billy Gennaro. Then it's on the gate 3, Hans Anderson in green for the Witches, and off the outside in blue, Chris Harris for the Bees. 14-9 in the Witches' favour. They've already beaten Coventry 3 times this season, and the Bees will need to raise their game somewhat if they're to avoid a 4th defeat against the Witches this year. Green lights on for race 5 then, very long hold by Graham Reeves, they're away, and Gennero's made a good start off gate 2. Harris has been squeezed out on a blast around the outside, but it's Gennaro leading out the back straight for the first time. Bird is there, along with Anderson for 2nd and 3rd. Harris lost ground on that first bend, and he's got a lot of catching up to do if he's going to make ground on the Ipswich duo, but Billy Gennaro made a good start off turn 2. He has the race lead off gate 2, Gennaro, and he leads at the back straight for the second time. It's Anderson 2nd and third, Harris struggling at the back, and that's not what Coventry need, as Anderson takes it wide off turn 4 as they come through to finish the second lap, and it's still Billy Gennaro stretching well clear here off Hans Anderson. Bird in 3rd place. Harris beginning to make up some ground now on Danny Bird, but it could well be too late for Chris Harris. He's still got plenty of ground to make up, and he's going really wide there off turn 4, trying to get past Danny Bird. Harris picked up enormous ground there. Gennaro with the lead. Anderson 2nd. It's Harris still trying to get round Bird. Now he cuts for an inside move. Can Harris make an inside Bird? He might have to shut off there. He does. Bird just about drops on him. Very close indeed. Harris sneaks it on the inside. They tangle up there. Harris might get the 3rd place. Harris does get the 3rd place. Billy Gennaro wins it. 2nd place, Hans Anderson. A battling ride there by Chris Harris, who made enormous ground on the last 2 laps there, and then absolutely pushed his way past Danny Bird through into a 3rd place. And the Bees take a 4-2 from heat number 5. Billy Gennaro is back with a very impressive race win there off gate 2. Gennaro wins it. Hans Anderson in 2nd place, and Chris Harris battles his way through a 3rd spot, and the Bees take a 4-2 from heat number 5, and they close that gap. It's now Coventry 13, Ipswich 16. So here we go for heat 6. It's Coventry 13, Ipswich 16. Andreas Jonsson clashes with Scott Nichols in this race. Should be a good one. Jason Bunyan and Daniel King also in this one. Daniel King taking forward his first ride, and Jason Bunyan battling 3rd place in his first ride. Can Jonsson get the better of Nichols in race number 6? Looking across the lineup then from the inside in blue, it's Jason Bunyan. At gate 2 in green, Scott Nichols. Gate 3 in red, Andreas Jonsson. And off the outside, yellow and black, it's Daniel King, with the Witches in front by 3 points, 16 over 13. But it's been very closely fought so far here this evening. A good meeting so far. The Bees having to cover now for the loss of Thomas Piche, with an ankle problem, of course, in his very first ride when he had the race in his pocket as well. That's the double frustration there. But we come into line for the 6th race of the night, and what can Andreas Jonsson do against Scott Nichols in race number 6? Here we go then with Bunyan on the inside, Nichols, Jonsson and King, and away they go, and Jonsson flies off gate 3. Nichols is there as well, and Jonsson gets round the outside of Scott Nichols. Jonsson's wide. Nichols has to really shut off there because Jonsson was in trouble, but Nichols lets his teammate go around the outside, and Bunyan could have a problem now, although the reserve King is very wide, and down again, hits the fence on the outside there and gets them very quickly to his credit, and that allows Bunyan through into a 3rd place. I think Nichols was trying to do the right thing by Daniel King, because Nichols let Daniel King go around the outside and was going to be quite happy to team ride him round ahead of Jason Bunyan, but Daniel King grabbed too much of a big handful around the outside, hit the fence on the outside, went down, and that allowed Jason Bunyan to take the 3rd place for the Bees. They're once going to set to pick up points in this heat number 6. Andreas Jonsson has got the race won over Scott Nichols, and Bunyan's got the 3rd place, and Jonsson now showboating his way down the main straight. Nichols is no threat whatsoever, and Andreas Jonsson with the race in his pocket here. He's almost got the length to a straight over Scott Nichols. Bunyan in 3rd. King is remounted at the back but won't score a point as Andreas Jonsson comes round to win heat number 6 very impressively indeed. Coast over the line. Nichols second, Bunyan third, and Daniel King will come round for last place. He's fourth, and the Bees have reduced that gap back down to 1 point now, and the Ipswich good start has been thwarted now with a good win for Andreas Jonsson, and the score is now Coventry 17, Ipswich 18. Morton Rosaire set for a busy night. He replaces Thomas Peach in heat number 7. Thomas Peach dispatched to hospital with his ankle injury. The Bees have hauled themselves back into contention after a really difficult start. They were 14-9 down after 4 heats, but a couple of 4-2s have got them right back in the match, and it's Stuart Robson looking for a better ride in this heat number 7. He's in red. It's Morton Rosaire off the outside in blue. Jesper B. Jensen, so impressive in his first ride. He's in green. And Chris Louis is in yellow and black. It is 18-17 in the Witches' favour after 6 heats, and Morton Rosaire just turns round to get some air, and it's Jesper B. Jensen in green off the inside for the Witches. Gate 2 in red, Stuart Robson. Gate 3 in yellow and black, it's Chris Louis, and off the outside in blue. Tough ride here for Morton Rosaire against a couple of Witches riders who went well in their first rides, particularly Jesper B. Jensen, who clocked 58.5. That was very impressive indeed. To be fair, Billy Gennaro did track him all the way in that heat 3, so Gennaro looking pretty quick as well here tonight. What can Robson do, who didn't have the happiest of rides in his first race? The Starting Marshal is pointing out that Chris Louis is delaying things at the moment, but Louis has moved into line in gate 3 here for the Witches. Jensen on the inside, Robson off 2, Louis off 3, Rosaire off 4, green lights on for race 7, and away they go, and Robson lifts off the number 2 gate, and away go the Witches with Jensen and Louis, and troubles here for the Bees as Jensen leads up the back straight, chased by Chris Louis with Robson in third place and Rosaire at the back, and you always have the feeling this one could go against the Bees from the gate, with Jesper B. Jensen looking very good indeed, with Chris Louis there alongside him in second place, Stuart Robson in third, and Louis going a bit wide on the outside there, but picks up the drive and gets back around the outside of Stuart Robson, this time Rosaire at the back, and Jesper B. Jensen, when he really trapped off the inside there, and he's well ahead, but Robson having a real go out to Stuart Robson, and so Chris Louis fully in second place, Louis is forced wide, Robson tries to come through on the inside, Louis is forced really wide, just about gets back around the outside there of Robson, but Robson gaining in confidence now, as Louis goes wide again off turn 4, Robson trying to come through on the inside, it's Jesper B. Jensen, a mile clear at the front, Louis in second place, Robson in third, with Morton Rosaire at the back, on the back straight they go for the final time, Rosaire almost in the fence on turn 2, he manages to get going again, but Jesper B. Jensen is going to win his second race of the night so far. Louis and Robson still absolutely shoulder to shoulder, and that's close again. That is really close again for second place. Stuart Robson and Chris Louis absolutely neck and neck over the line there. Stuart Robson thinks he's got it, and that was so close indeed there. And Jesper B. Jensen once again an impressive win in race number 7, his second win of the night, and we'll await the referee's confirmation once again on the second place there. Stuart Robson gets the second place for the Bees once again, on the line, passed by a Coventry rider. It looked all ends up like a 5-1 to the Witches, but Stuart Robson battled away, got that second place off Chris Louis, and it's Coventry 19, Ipswich 22. 2 rides on the trot then for Morton Rosaire, and he is set for a very busy meeting indeed with the injury to Thomas Peach. Rosaire not too happy with his form in heat number 7 when he came at the back, and fortunately for the Bees, Stuart Robson making it through into second place. There's been some good action tonight, and we now look at heat number 8, and the Bees could do with some points here. Jason Bunyan and Morton Rosaire for Coventry, Danny Bird and Kim Janssen for the Witches. Kim Janssen, after he had 3 goes at heat number 2, managed to get it right by winning that one, and Danny Bird has so far gated better than he's ridden, it's fair to say. But can the Bees make anything of heat 8? It's Kim Janssen off the inside in yellow and black for the Witches. Gate 2 in blue for the Bees is Morton Rosaire. In green off gate 3, Danny Bird, and off the outside in red, it's Jason Bunyan. He's battled away so far for a 2-3 from his 2 rides so far. It's Coventry 19, Ipswich 22 as the riders come into line for heat number 8, and can the Bees get any points back, or will the race go the Witches' way? Green lights on for race 8, and long hold once again by Graham Reeve. They're away, and Rosario is squeezed out, and once again the Witches riders are first to the first bend. Danny Bird leads Kim Janssen, and the Bees again will have to do it from the back. It's Bird at the back straight with the race lead. Janssen in second place, Bunyan in third with Rosea out the back, and Rosea makes a mistake on turn 3 and goes too wide, and it's up to Jason Bunyan now to put the chase in on Kim Janssen. But it's Danny Bird really getting things right in this heat number 8. He's streaking well clear with Kim Janssen in second place, and it's Bunyan chasing hard in third, but he's got a lot to do really to get to Kim Janssen from there. Rosea struggling at the back, and this doesn't look too good here for the Bees in heat 8. Fast skating from the Witches riders. Danny Bird leads Kim Janssen, and Bunyan now losing ground in third place with Morton Rosea at the back, and the Witches riders are pulling well clear here, and they look set for the first 5-1 of the meeting in this heat number 8. Bunyan losing ground now in third place. Danny Bird really impressive, but Janssen made a mistake and falls, and that's a real bonus for the Bees in heat 8. Kim Janssen can't believe he's done it. Kim Janssen absolutely livid with himself there as he comes down on turn 2. A 3-3, what an escape for the Bees there in heat 8. Kim Janssen, he had second place absolutely in his pocket there and made a mistake, went too wide, went wider and wider, clipped the fence, came down, and he's absolutely blown second place there, and that is an enormous escape there for the Bees. Kim Janssen, second place in the bag with Danny Bird, the impressive race winner, and somehow Kim Janssen made a complete mess of it on turn 2, hit the fence, came down, and through went the Bees riders from most fortunate second and third places. We still have a 3-point gap at the end of it all. It's Coventry now on 22, Ipswich 25. Coventry 22, Ipswich 25. A real let-off for the Bees in heat 8. Kim Janssen's mistake coming down, and so 3 points still the difference as we look at heat number 9. Billy Gennaro and Chris Harris for the Bees, Scott Nichols and Daniel King for the Witches. So the pressure really on Scott Nichols here to do the business for Ipswich in heat 9, but Billy Gennaro has been going well so far for the Bees. Made a couple of good starts so far has Gennaro. Chris Harris has not been gating so far tonight, has to earn his points from the back as he did in heat 5. So it could well be here we see a battle between Nichols off the inside and Gennaro off the outside. Chris Harris and Daniel King also in the race. Scott Nichols is the man currently doing the gardening on gate 1. Nichols then in green off the inside, Chris Harris in blue off gate 2, Daniel King gate 3 in yellow and black, and Billy Gennaro off the outside in red for the Bees. The 2 minutes is still actually on by referee Graham Reeve, who was waiting for Scott Nichols to come into line now. I think he's just about done so now, to the satisfaction of the starting marshal. He's still messing about there a bit, it has to be said, Scott Nichols, but I think finally we are now ready, and the starting marshal is still not happy with Scott Nichols. He's telling him to move over. He's not in his box there, and Scott Nichols is now moving much nearer to the inside curb. Chris Harris comes right to the edge of gate 2, and Nichols seems happy with the groove he's just suddenly moved into. Gennaro off the outside, Daniel King off gate 3, so real controversy there at the starting gate, as they're now, I think, finally ready for race number 9. The green light's on, and away they go, and Nichols coming across from gate 1, Gennaro across from gate 4. Gennaro might have made it round him there. That's a tremendous effort by Gennaro. Harris comes through as well. King is down yet again, and over the fence he goes, and the red light's going to come on now. It's rotten luck for the Bees. King is down for the 3rd time tonight, and the Bees were away there, and the exclusion light will surely come on for Daniel King, who took a pretty awkward fall there, it must be said, on the second bend, ran out of space. That's rotten luck for the Bees, because Nichols had made a mess of it on the first bend. Gennaro was away, and so was Chris Harris coming through on the inside, but the red lights had to come on for Daniel King, who fell on the outside there, and that'll be a rerun with 3 riders. Here we go then for the rerun of heat 9, with Ipswich in front by 3 points, and Billy Gennaro and Chris Harris and Scott Nichols with Daniel King excluded. And it was unfortunate for the Bees because Gennaro and Harris were in a good position when that race was stopped. Gennaro had flown off the outside gate, and Chris Harris had made a move through on the inside as well after Scott Nichols had made a mistake. But now they have to do it all over again in the rerun. They've taken the interval early after the fence had to be re-inflated after Daniel King had gone into it, and certainly that section of fence has seen plenty of action so far this evening. And Scott Nichols digging in on gate 1. He's going in a different groove certainly from where he was for the first stage of the race. Chris Harris is next to him in gate 2. There's no rider on gate 3, and there's Billy Gennaro on the outside. 25-22 to the Witches. Nichols, Harris and Gennaro for the rerun of heat number 9. The green light is on. The starting marshal walks away. Long hold once again by Graham Reeve. Away they go. And again, Gennaro scores from the outside. He's got the better of Nichols once again. This time Nichols has got second place over Harris. But Gennaro leads on the back straight for the first time, being chased by Scott Nichols. Harris goes round the outside in third place. But Gennaro stretching away. And Scott Nichols giving chase. Gennaro with the lead. Nichols in second place. And Nichols trying to go around the outside. But Gennaro pulls clear up the back straight. It's Chris Harris in third place. And the Bees look set to get a 4-2 possibly in this heat number 9. But Nichols once again making a move on Gennaro to come off turn 4. But he still has second place. Gennaro still with the advantage. And so far so good for doing Gennaro on his return to the Bees side tonight. He's looking very impressive indeed as he stretches away at the back straight for the third time. It's Scott Nichols in second place. Harris in third, going a real handful around the outside of Nichols there. Harris now catching up once again towards the end of the race. It's Gennaro with the race thrown up at the front. It's Scott Nichols in second, going wide. Harris once again chasing after Nichols for the second place. Looks like being a 4-2 to the Bees in heat number 9. Billy Gennaro very impressive once again. He wins it. Gennaro is there. Second place is Nichols. Third is Harris. And once again impressive stuff there from Billy Gennaro. He wins heat number 9 from Scott Nichols with Chris Harris in third place, and Billy Gennaro making a very impressive return to the Bees side here tonight as Coventry take a 4-2 out of heat number 9. Gennaro getting the better there of Scott Nichols, and it's back close again here now. It's Coventry on 26, Ipswich 27. Heat 10 then, Bees trail by just 1 point, 27-26. Andreas Jonsson and Jason Bunyan in Heat 10. Jesper B. Jensen and Chris Louis for the Witches. And very important indeed here that Andreas Jonsson, if he can try and get the better of Jesper B. Jensen, who's been very impressive so far here tonight for the Witches. Jonsson off the outside, while Gennaro has made a flying start from the outside in the previous race. But Jesper B. Jensen has been good so far here tonight with 2 rides and 2 wins, and 2 very fast wins as well. And important for the Bees, as we say, that Andreas Jonsson can get the best of him in this race 10. The Bees have clawed their way back from a difficult start. They've had a stroke of fortune when the Witches 5-1 in Heat 8 went wrong, but therefore then again the Bees themselves have had their share of bad luck here this evening already, notably the Heat 2 5-1 that went wrong. And also Heat 9 there, they may have had a 5-1 at the initial staging before Daniel King came down, but in the rerun had to be content with a 4-2. Looking across the lineup for heat number 10, it's Chris Louis off the inside in yellow and black. Next to him in blue, Jason Bunyan. It's Jesper B. Jensen in green off gate 3, and off the outside in red it's Andreas Jonsson for the Bees. And the starting marshal calling Andreas Jonsson into line off the outside. He's in his box there. Jensen and Bunyan are very close indeed on 2 and 3, but meanwhile on the inside Chris Louis is not quite in his box. Now he is, and the starting marshal working overtime down there to get these riders set up for heat number 10. Louis, Bunyan, Jensen and Jonsson, green lights on for race number 10, and away they go. Jonsson flying off gate 3, made a good start there, just gets over Jesper B. Jensen, is forced wide but should have the pace at the outside. Louis sneaks through on the inside, but Jonsson's right on the outside to take the lead with Louis in second place. Jensen in third going wide, Bunyan at the back, Jensen really wide indeed, and Bunyan now catching up with Jesper B. Jensen. Andreas Jonsson has the race lead. It's Chris Louis in second place holding the inside line. Jensen in third, not looking quite so good this time with Bunyan at the back. Andreas Jonsson had to get over Jesper B. Jensen on the first bend, he did so. He's stretching clear at the front. It's Chris Louis in second place. It's Jesper B. Jensen in third, not looking anywhere near as impressive in this ride as he did in the previous 2. I think he'll just about have the third place over Jason Bunyan, and Andreas Jonsson is away here for the Bees in heat number 10. Jonsson with the race lead then. Second place is Chris Louis. It's Jesper B. Jensen in the third spot with Bunyan this time on the back. Looks like being a shared heat in race number 10 as Andreas Jonsson comes through for his second win of the night so far. Andreas Jonsson wins it. Second place is Chris Louis. In third place, Jesper B. Jensen. Jason Bunyan at the back on that occasion. Very important indeed that Andreas Jonsson won that race. He did so for the Bees in impressive style from the outside, and the Bees still very much in this meeting here after a shared heat in heat 10, and it's now Coventry 29, Ipswich 30. Into line then for heat number 11, Stuart Robson off the inside for the Bees in red. Gate 2 in yellow and black, Danny Berg. Gate 3 in blue, Morten Rizea. Off the outside in green, Hans Andersen. And once again a race in which bees need to compete from the start. Danny Bird was so quick out of the gate in his third ride. Anderson, we know, can trap in that gate 4, has been working well so far this evening. And Morton Isaiah turns away, and Stuart Robson, the onus on him to make the trap from the inside, because Danny Bird was impressive indeed after 2 last places in his first 2 rides. He was very good in his third ride, and Hans Anderson, we know how good from the start he can be. So can Stuart Robson beat him off the start? Can Morton Isaiah get in there as well in his 5th ride of the meeting so far? Robson, Bird, Isaiah and Anderson in heat number 11. The Bees still trail by 1 point. Good close meeting here. Plenty of exciting racing. Thrills and spills are plenty. And there's still plenty to go for in the last 5 races. Robson, Bird, Isaiah and Anderson, as we're all set now for heat number 11. The green light is on from the referee, and away they go, and Robson's missed it off the inside. Away goes Anderson, away goes Bird. Bad news here from the Bees, they're going wide, and Robson's brought down Danny Bird there on the first bend, and that you would think will be an exclusion. You would suspect real tangle on that first bend. The red lights come on, the red exclusion lights on for Stuart Robson, who seemed to clatter into Danny Bird on the second bend there. Danny Bird is the man who seems to have taken the brunt of it, and that was more dramatic action there on that second bend. Stuart Robson and Danny Bird involved. The red light is on. The Witches Ride has made a flying start. Robson going for the cut back on the inside, but collided with Danny Bird, and that will be an exclusion for Stuart Robson, and 3 only for the rerun of heat number 11. Danny Bird on his feet after that awkward spill in heat number 11. Looks like he'll make it back to the pits under his own steam, and should hopefully be able to take his place in the rerun. Rerun then for heat 11. Morton Isaiah on his own for the Bees after the exclusion of Stuart Robson. So it's Morton Isaiah up against Hans Anderson and Danny Bird. Danny Bird fortunately okay after that second bend spill with Stuart Robson. Robson excluded by the referee. The Witches were away from the gate at the initial staging of the race. Now we'll see what they can make of the rerun. Bird, Isaiah and Anderson, the green light comes on, and away they go. This time a better start by Isaiah. He's still going to get squeezed out. Oh, he's through in the inside there. Anderson's going to go around the outside, and Isaiah squeezes him out. Bird hits the front. Isaiah goes round him. Superb first lap there by Morton Isaiah. He waded through. Anderson was really caught out there. Didn't expect it in the slightest. And Morton Isaiah charging away now from Danny Bird. Anderson in 3rd place. Bird trying to come through on the inside. Isaiah back on the outside. Anderson beaten already. Superb first lap there by Morton Isaiah. He wasn't squeezed out on the inside. Looked like he might be, but he took Anderson wide. He then got round Bird, and that is top quality stuff by Morton Isaiah, who leads on to the 3rd lap with Danny Bird chasing hard in 2nd place. Hans Anderson, the Grand Prix rider, is beaten in 3rd place. He didn't expect that from Isaiah at all, but Isaiah has once again underlined his real quality at the age of just 16. Danny Bird still chasing hard, and that's in 2nd place. Danny Bird chasing really hard indeed, trying to get round the outside. Anderson in 3rd place. Looks like Morton Isaiah should do enough here. Isaiah leads around the final bend, goes a bit wide but still holds the line. Morton Isaiah, superb victory. He wins it from Danny Bird with Hans Anderson in 3rd place. Fantastic win there for Morton Isaiah. It was really tight on that first bend. He looked like he'd get squeezed out between Anderson and Bird, but he wouldn't be squeezed, he wouldn't be moved over. He took Anderson wide. He then got round the outside of Danny Bird. That is superb stuff by Morton Isaiah, and the Bees are still just 1 point behind despite the exclusion there of Stuart Robson. Morton Isaiah was a superb race win, and it's now Coventry at 32, Ipswich 33, as Isaiah gets a standing ovation from the Coventry main grandstand. So here we go for heat number 12, Billy Gennaro and Morton Isaiah for the Bees, Jesper B. Jensen and Daniel King for the Witches. Some debate as to what the Witches would do in terms of the reserves, with Kim Janssen clearly the better bet for points, but having said that, both the Witches riders have been in the wars tonight, and the reserves, well, they both crashed last week and were forced out of the meetings last Thursday for Ipswich, and then they've made a habit of falling off all night tonight of King and Janssen, and I suspect they feel that Janssen just simply cannot cope with the prospect of an extra ride. He's had a shoulder problem, so King, who's been off in all 3 of his rides so far tonight, picking up 2 exclusions, he keeps his place. It's Billy Gennaro and Morten Rizea for the Bees. It's Jesper B. Jensen in green for the Witches. Chance here for the Bees. If they can gate on Jensen, they could take some points out of heat number 12. Gennaro's been impressive so far, making starts off the outside grids. Can he make it from the inside? Jensen's been fast skating so far, but didn't look at all good in his third ride. Rizea was sensational in heat number 11. Very interesting race indeed. It's Gennaro on the inside, then Daniel King, then Morten Rizea, and then on the outside Jesper B. Jensen. And Jensen's got a real flyer there, that's going to have to be stopped. I'm not sure if he touched the tapes, but he got an absolute flyer off gate number 4. He knew he needed one, and we were waiting on the referees, but I think he just about avoided the tapes there, unfortunately for the Bees. But Jensen with an absolute flyer off 4, and unsatisfactory start called by the referee, all 4 back. So straight back into line for the rerun of heat number 12. Gennaro on the inside, Danny King off gate 2 in yellow and black, Rizea off 3 and Jensen off 4. Jensen got such a flyer. Good job the referee pulled it back, and he was lucky he didn't touch the tapes there. Jesper B. Jensen. What's going to happen now in the rerun? Gennaro, King and Rizea, Jensen. This time they're still away, they go. Jensen flies off forward. Gennaro tries to get out there with him, tries to take him wide, turns really tight. Gennaro on the back straight, Jensen tries to go round him. Jensen does go round him. Jesper B. Jensen gets round the outside of Billy Gennaro and leads round the third and fourth bends. For the first time, it's Gennaro in second place, it's Rizea in third, and Jesper B. Jensen making good use of the outside, but he's been flying all night. He has the lead from Gennaro and turns it really tight on the second lap, still on second place. Morten Rizea in third spot with Danny King at the back. Jesper B. Jensen pulled off the great start just when Ipswich required it, because that race looked like it could have been a good one for the Bees, but they were just outgated, and they now have to be content surely with a 3 apiece in this heat number 12, with Jesper B. Jensen leading round the third and fourth bend for the third time, being tracked by Billy Gennaro. Morten Rizea in third place, Danny King at the back. Bees might have hoped for a heat advantage here in heat number 12. They're not going to get it unless something very unusual happens around this final lap. Jesper B. Jensen just made it around the outside. Billy Gennaro couldn't quite take him out wide enough, and Jesper B. Jensen wins heat number 12 from Billy Gennaro, with Morten Rizea in third place and Danny King out the back. So that's a shared heat once again. We've had 3 consecutive shared heats now, and there's still only 1 point in it. But Ipswich crucially hold that 1 point lead after a shared heat in heat number 12. Jesper B. Jensen, his third win of the night so far. Billy Gennaro has beaten that time, and it's now Coventry 35, Ipswich 36. Time currently counting down on Scott Nichols in heat 13. I believe he's changed bikes for this one after running a couple of second places. So close and so tense once again here tonight. It's been another superb meeting here at Brandon, and the Bees still trailed by that 1 point margin. Ipswich went in front with a 3-2 in heat 2. They've been in front ever since, but it's been so close. There have been times when it's been threatened there's going to be a 5-1 to either side, but it's never quite happened. It's been a sequence of 4-2s and 2-4s and 3-3s all night. And what's going to happen now in the heavyweight clash of heat number 13, with Hans Andersen off the inside in green for the Witches, Andreas Jonsson off gate 2 in red for the Bees, Scott Nichols off gate 3 in yellow and black for the Witches, and Stuart Robson in blue off the outside for the Bees. 35-36, 3 heats to go, and this is one heck of a tough race. Andersen 5 points from his first 2, then a rather distant third in his third ride. Nichols the win first time out, then 2 at second places. Andreas Jonsson 8 points from 3, Stuart Robson at 2 from 3. Here we go for heat number 13. Andersen, Jonsson, Nichols, Robson. The starting marshal now gets ready, the green light comes on, and away they go. Jonsson off gate 2 with a decent start. He gets over Hans Andersen. Robson is taken out, but tries to go flying around the outside. Nichols, he's got round Nichols, he's got round Andersen too. Superb ride by Stuart Robson. Can he hold it now? As Andreas Jonsson leads up round the third and fourth bend. Back on the inside comes Andersen, retakes Robson for that second place. Robson goes wide. Nichols tries to come back at him. Robson again going for Andersen, and Robson tries to go inside Andersen. What a superb race here as Jonsson went well clear at the front. Andersen in second place. It is Stuart Robson holding third over Scott Nichols, and Robson again going for Andersen as Jonsson leads on to lap 3. It is Andersen second, Robson in third, Nichols at the back, and Nichols not looking too good here on a change bike, and Robson still going for Andersen for all he's worth. Jonsson a mile clear in the front. Nichols switching the attack now to the outside on Robson. Robson needs to move out to block Nichols. It's on to the last lap this time with Andreas Jonsson with the race lead. It's Andersen second, it's Robson in third. Nichols trying to go around the outside. Andersen might be trying to slow the race down here. Nichols going to blast it right round the outside again. Johnson wins it by a mile. Nichols comes place on Robson, very close indeed. Anderson's blocked Robson, Nichols might just have got it. That is so close on that line there, as Hans Andersen tried to block Stuart Robson out, and it may just have cost the Bees the third place. It's so close down there. Andreas Johnson winning it by a distance, and we'll await the referee's verdict on that. What a race there in heat number 13. Andreas Johnson won it by a mile. All the action for second and third places, and Scott Nichols on that final bend with Andersen blocking Robson when he may just have done enough there for a third place. Scott Nichols confirmed in the third place from the referee. Rotten luck for Stuart Robson, who got really crossed up behind Hans Andersen. There's been some interesting debate in the recent weeks about the riding relationship between Hans Andersen and Scott Nichols, but Andersen certainly did Nichols a favour there, because he really slowed up Stuart Robson on that last bend. Nichols found the line to get past him, and we have a shared heat yet again in heat number 13, just when the Bees look like they might be able to get in the lead of the meeting for the first time. They're still a point down, and a very big heat 14 to come. Coventry 38, Ipswich 39. Still 1 point the difference. Coventry 38, Ipswich 39. It's Chris Harris and Morten Rizea for the Bees in heat 14. It's Chris Louis and Kim Janssen for the Witches. If there's any rider you want in heat number 14, and we've said it before this season, to have for Ipswich to have Chris Louis tracked at number 4 to cover heat number 14 really is big for the Witches. The number of times he has won important races for them in heat number 14 this season, they've taken several meetings as a result of it. The Bees obviously have to watch out for Kim Janssen, because even a shared heat would take them into the last race with a chance, and they would have a chance with Janssen and Gennaro both in good form for heat number 15. So important that at the very least they share the points. They're still definitely in this meeting, the Bees, but they've got to at least share the points here in 14, you feel. And then if either Harris or Rizea could beat Louis in heat 14, that would be massive. But perhaps the most important thing is to keep Janssen at the back, and then bank on Johnson and bank on Gennaro in heat 15. Could be a really tense last race. Could be a really tense heat 14 as well. Across the lineup, Rizea in blue off gate 1, Louis in green off 2, Harris in red off 3, Janssen off the outside, yellow and black. The Ipswich reserves have been crashing all over the place so far tonight. And Louis is now up to tapes in gate number 2. Green light comes on for heat 14. Away they go, and it's Louis off gate 1. Janssen got there with him. Disaster for the Bees. Louis made it. Janssen's made it. Rizea tries to go through on the inside. Janssen around the outside. I don't believe it, because Chris Louis has the lead, and Kim Janssen is in second place. Harris trying to go wide on Janssen and trying to make a move on him. It's imperative for the Bees that they get through here. Louis and Janssen team riding. Rizea and Harris trying to split them up. Harris has now got a line to try and get past, and I think really Rizea needs to get Harris going. Harris needs to try and split the Ipswich riders up at the very least. It's very close indeed as they come off the fourth bend for the second time. It's still Louis and Janssen team riding their way around, so close. Harris trying to go around the outside, trying to go really around the outside. Rizea's there on the inside, but the Ipswich boys are pulling clear here. Louis and Janssen, with Harris trying to go right round the outside and still going on the outside as they come through to start the final lap. If it's a 5-1 here, then Ipswich win the meeting. Now Rizea back inside Harris, and still anyone's race here. Louis and Janssen team riding their way round. Rizea in third, Harris at the back end. Now Rizea dives inside, and Harris falls, and no, he doesn't turn. It's still on there on the final bend, and it's Louis and Rizea gets second place. And what has Rizea got there? That was so close once again on the line. Looked like Harris goes off into all kinds of trouble. He stayed on. Morten Rizea has come through into at least second place there. And once again, when they went the referee's verdict, Coventry still have a chance, as the team riding of Louis and Janssen went wrong on the last bend. Ipswich have lost so many points on the last bend here tonight, and once again we'll await a referee's verdict on that. What a meeting here, and Morten Rizea once again a real star for the Bees. He's pinched to second place, and we do go to a last heat decider. Morten Rizea confirmed in at second place there in heat number 14. Chris Louis hanging on for the victory, but Kim Janssen dropping that second place right at the end. They were team riding their way all the way around, and Morten Rizea just managed to sneak in. He got there on the last bend, and he got the second place, and the Bees still have a chance, but they find themselves now 3 points down. They must get a 5-1 for the last race. Coventry 40, Ipswich 43. Heat number 15, Coventry 40, Ipswich 43. No doubt that Billy Gennaro and Andreas Johnson will be the 2 riders nominated for the Bees for this race. Ipswich had a choice of 2 from 3. They've gone with Hans Andersen and Jesper B. Jensen. Scott Nichols not in heat number 15. Jensen has got that flying outside gate that really has worked well here tonight. Ipswich won the toss, no hesitation about taking gates 2 and 4. The Bees riders have got to make the gate. It's quite simply 5-1 or nothing. If they get a 5-1, it'll be 45-44. Anything else, and Ipswich would take an away win here this evening. Off the inside in red for the Bees, Billy Gennaro. Off gate 2 in green, Hans Andersen. Off gate 3 in blue, Andreas Jonsson. Off the outside in yellow and black, it is Jesper B. Jensen. Jesper B. Jensen having perhaps his best ever night at Coventry with 10 paid 11 from 4 rides so far. Andersen has been solid with 8 paid 9. Jonsson 11 for the Bees. Gennaro 10 for the Bees. 5-1 required. Can they do it? Gennaro, Andersen, Jonsson and Jensen. Last hit decider once again at Brandon. The odds against the Bees, but can they come through? The green light comes on. Away they go, and Jonsson, Benedictus down on 3. They've squeezed Andersen out. Gennaro's there. Jonsson trying to go around the outside. They've pulled up. They've been down on the outside there. Down under the fence. And this is real controversy now, because down on the outside is Jensen. The Bees are clear. Jensen's after the fence. The red light's going to... And Jensen is pushing away. The red lights are now on. The red light's on. We've got real controversy now, because the Bees are away with a 5-1. Jensen is in the fence and out of the race. What's the referee going to do now? He does have the option of awarding it, but it would be very controversial indeed, and we await the referee's verdict because the Bees were away there. Peter Oakes is straight on the phone. Jesper B. Jensen is out of the race, but it will be a rerun with 3, and bad luck for the Bees again. Peter Oakes is went straight to the phone, but it will be 3 riders back for the rerun, and the Bees have made an absolute dream start there. Jensen couldn't get out of the fence. To be fair, he did try. And the Bees were away, and once again the luck goes against them. And this dramatic meeting takes a further twist. Jensen is out of the race, but the Bees, who were away in first and second, now have to do it all over again from the gate. They'd squeezed Andersen out. Jensen grabbed a handful around the outside, clipped the fence in that difficult position again on the outside, went too wide, and now Andersen can become the hero for Ipswich in a dramatic meeting at Brandon. What else can happen here? Rotten luck for the Bees. The option is there to award the race. It would be very controversial indeed on the first lap to do so, but there's no doubt about it, the Bees were away with a 5-1. Here we go for the rerun then. Gennaro, Andersen and Jonsson. Ipswich have lost one of their riders. Can Jonsson and Gennaro both beat Andersen? The green light's on for the rerun. Away they go. Andersen's there in between. They squeeze him out once again. Gennaro's there. Jonsson's there. Andersen goes straight to the outside. And now can the Bees get through with a 5-1? It's Andreas Jonsson, Billy Gennaro into the 3rd and 4th bend. Andersen trying to sweep around the outside, trying to make a move on Gennaro. Goes a bit wide. The Bees are clear here. Jonsson and Gennaro with Hans Andersen in 3rd place. Andersen trying to make a move on Gennaro. He's wide, he's not going to make it so far. It's still Andreas Jonsson and Billy Gennaro in a 5-1 situation for the Bees. Jonsson's cleared off, got the race won. Gennaro holding 2nd place from Andersen. Onto the 3rd lap they go. It's Andreas Jonsson. Half Billy Gennaro. Jonsson's wide on turn 2, but he's still leading. It's Billy Gennaro in 2nd place. Superb return for Gennaro. It's Andersen in 3rd place. We've got 1 lap to go after this one. It's still Andreas Jonsson and Billy Gennaro, and they're in a 5-1 situation. It's Jonsson and Gennaro on the final lap now. Andersen is beaten. Jonsson on the back straight for the final time. Gennaro on the back straight for the final time. It should be a 5-1. It's Andreas Jonsson on the final bend. It's Billy Gennaro on the final bend. It's a 5-1 for the Bees. Andreas Jonsson and Billy Gennaro. They get the 5-1 right at the end. Coventry have only led once all night. They lead at the vital time tonight. It's Coventry 45, Ipswich 44. What a fantastic meeting at Brandon tonight. What drama throughout. And Andreas Jonsson and Billy Gennaro. A superb return for Billy Gennaro. And Andreas Jonsson was there. Billy Gennaro was there. And the Bees riders have come through. They've had a dramatic victory tonight. Andreas Jonsson and Billy Gennaro. A sensational 5-1 over Hans Andersen. They've got the 5-1 in sensational fashion. I'm not sure it was possible for it to be more dramatic than last week against Poole. I think it probably was. Jonsson and Gennaro take the 5-1. Coventry 45, Ipswich 44. The Witches absolutely stunned. Billy Gennaro, a hero on his return to the side. Andreas Jonsson, sensational stuff from the Speed Swede. And Coventry have somehow dragged themselves out of the fire tonight once again. They'll get the bumps down there, the Bees riders. Real team spirit down there. Peter Oakes and the team. And bumps for Andreas Jonsson there. They had to catch him, yes they have done, just about. And Janero's up there as well. And real team spirit about this Coventry team, who have had a really tough season. But it's all come right tonight. It came right last Thursday against Poole, and that is a superb Speedway meeting, which the Bees have nicked by a single point. They only led once all night. They led at a vital time, and Ipswich, I'm sure, can't believe it. So the score chart from a dramatic meeting at Brandon: for the Bees, Andreas Jonsson 14, Jason Bunyan 4 and 1, Billy Janero 12 and 1, Chris Harris 2, Stuart Robson 2, Thomas Peach no score, Morten Rosea 11 and 2. For the Witches, Hans Anderson 9 and 1, Danny Bird 5, Jesper V Jensen 10 and 1, Chris Louis 7, Scott Nichols 8 and 1, Daniel King no score, Kim Jansen 5. What a night at Brandon. Coventry 45, Ipswich 44.
Andreas Johnson, what can I say? Another win. You beat Poole last week, Ipswich tonight. You must be really pleased.
Yeah, the way we're going very good. You know, you see like Morten is flying around here, you know, at the moment, so that helps us a lot. You know, it's just too bad that Thomas got injured tonight. You know, probably broke his foot or something. So really bad luck for the Bees again. But luckily we could put away with a win tonight. You know.
You did really well personally, just dropping 1 point to an opponent. You seem really unbeatable around this place nowadays.
I don't feel like it though, because like I don't know, it's just I feel pretty good when I get going and that, but it just takes a little bit of time to get going. Like I feel like I'm sleeping the first heats and I don't know what to do, you know, to make the start from the first heat. I got the inside, the best gate, first heat, and I missed it. I can't believe that, you know.
Billy Janero, what can I say? Another win.
Yeah, you know, happy. First night back. Had a bit of a down spell, you know, always getting injured, not doing too good, and then came back and scored 13 points for the team. So, and we got a 5-1 in the last race to win it. So that was, you know, I feel really good right now. Confidence is definitely up.
Good, that's good to hear. I spoke to you before the match. You weren't sure how you were going to feel. You said you felt good and you proved it tonight.
Yeah, I know I didn't even notice anything out there that was wrong. You know, the adrenaline was in me and it was just cruising. You know, felt really fast tonight. So hopefully this can carry on to. You know, I'm doing an open meeting in Sweden on Saturday and then back here for Thursday. So hopefully things keep going this good.
Bit of a tricky situation with Thomas obviously getting injured. We hear he may have broken his foot. That's another problem for the team managers.
Yeah, you know, they'll have to pull something out, you know, and get somebody in there that could score, you know, at least 5-6 points a meeting. You know, that'll help the team out. You know, that's where we struggle is because everybody's not scoring 8 or 10 points like most other teams, you know, so you got to have me and AJ scoring. Robbo, he needs to start, you know, getting out of the gate. You know, Robbo is really fast, it's just his gating, and if he works on that, you know, I think we'll be a really good team.
Great to see Morten doing well in the reserve though.
He proved a lot to me tonight. You know, when I left home he wasn't scoring that many points, but you know, last week he got 15, paid 16. Tonight the guy, he could have passed me, you know, and I felt pretty fast. So he's proved a lot, you know.
Excellent. Well, thanks for your time. Well done tonight.